Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's story is the next incredible installment of the fantastic series written by my good friend Smokey Beardman. As ever, please do let us know down below in the comments what you thought. Please do like and share, it really does help build the channel and our community further. And of course, don't forget to hashtag TeamFEAR. And so, without further ado, let's get into tonight's story, entitled The Naturals, The Blade. Let's get straight into that. I moved silently through the abandoned factory, making no noise and barely breathing. My target was sitting in the office that was suspended above the main work floor. Armed men were patrolling the work floor like mindless drones. There were a few that looked more than capable. One had guns everywhere. I counted at least 10 handguns, one sniper rifle, and an assault rifle. Both rifles were slung over the shoulder and seemed to notice my presence. But he didn't make a move towards me, nor did he alert his comrades. The other was muscular, but not huge. I would have to say he was definitely Army, maybe Marines. And there were two other guys that caught my attention. They were hovering over a table with papers and laptops littering the top. They were military as well, but not combat. Maybe recon and R&D. The nerdy looking one was actually cute. The other three men were handsome, but they were not my type. The other men walking around were dull and were just there for numbers. This was going to be an interesting job. My target was sitting against the wall, his back to the fishbowl office window. All of the machinery was making this too simple. I could maneuver between and over each piece of equipment like I was swimming in a kiddie pool. I decided my best point of attack was to get up top of the rafters and enter through the adjoining office. Martial arts, gymnastics and all the other random training had modelled me into an excellent assassin. Family business. I kind of fell into it. Parents never told their precious daughter who they really were, but encouraged my training nonetheless. Dad pretended to be a martial arts teacher, and Mum was the dojo's business end, running the class in the lower end of the big city where we grew up in. It was small and not the best shape, but it put food on the table, and it made me a great weapons master. I had won many competitions. Actually, I don't remember ever losing, but this was a job, and I was going to wipe out this man without anyone noticing. I am just that damn good. I climbed up onto one machine, then a pole that braced the ceiling, then light as a feather jumped onto the rafters. Dust fell like snow, but no one noticed. The guy strapped with guns then stopped leaning on the machine he was holding up and made his way to where I just was. "Hey, where you going, gunslinger? Got a piss?" One of the grunts was being arrogant to the dangerous gun nut. "No, something is off. I feel something in my gut. I'm not sure what it is, so I'm going to take a walk until I find something or until the feeling goes away. Go back to sitting around with your thumb up your backside. I'll be back here soon enough." The goon just grunted, looking rather butthurt, but didn't say anything. But the muscled man asked if he wanted backup, and to this the gun nut agreed, and they both made their way to where I was. Quietly and slowly, I moved away. It would take them a couple of minutes to get where I was, and I should be out of sight by then. And with any luck, I'll be done with my mission before then as well. I successfully made it to the office just as the two bodyguards reached the previous location. I moved like a cat over the top of the office rooms and found an entrance into the adjoining office room. It was dark and fairly clear. Lowering myself into the room, I pulled my short sword and a couple of kunai. Peeking through the blind of the office door that separated the two rooms, I could see that he was not looking in my direction. He was just sitting in an office chair, swiveling back and forth and watching some video on his cell phone. It can't be this easy, can it? This I said to myself under my breath. I slowly opened the door, no squeaking, lucky me. The floor was clear of any debris, and he was absorbed in a video. A creepypasta from the sound of it. The irony was not lost on me. I had closed the distance and was in position to land a death blow. One single killing strike, but paused when he spoke.
If you will give me a couple of minutes to talk to you before you kill me, I would appreciate it, Miss Kanzaki.
He turned around, looked me in the eyes. He was so calm and even had a smile on his face.
After all, how are you going to get paid for the job if you kill your employer?
You hired me? Is this a joke?
I assure you, ma'am, I have no sense of humor. So, will you give me a few minutes of your time? I promise you, you will still get paid for the job, and I might have something more, lucrative to offer.
Fine, but tell your man to get that gun off the back of my head. He isn't the only one that can sense when he's being watched. The strange man, dressed in a suit and tie, looking military and formal in every sense, got on the radio and said without a kernel of stress,
"Lower the gun, gunslinger. We're fine up here."
"As you wish. Should we join you, or should you do this alone?" Another man piped in. "Nah, it would be best to let him talk to her alone. Don't need her feeling outnumbered. In fact, let's go ahead and start packing it up. Costas has this, I'm sure."
"Sounds good. Pack it up and wait for me to join you. If I'm not out in about 15 minutes, send in a couple of guys with a body bag."
"Next of kin you want us to contact?"
"No need."
After this exchange, I was speechless. They not only hired me, but knew my name. They were prepared for me. I was at a complete loss, but was also intrigued. Never had someone gone to this length to speak to me like this, and to just leave a target with a hired killer. They were good. The tact of the one man and the senses of the other two. Then there was this man, calm as a graveyard, like he had everything under control. I sat down on the office desk, putting away my weapons. I wanted to hear this. "It's your show, dude. You went to some lengths to get me here to talk, so talk."
"Kanzaki, Mia, 24. Weapons master since 12. Assassin since 20. Your parents were also assassins. Some of the best. You, however, are the best. No one has your mastery of weapons mixed with your physical abilities. You have a lot of skills that make you unique. Unique to the point that you would be an asset to my team. You would be paid very, very well, and more often than you are now. You would be enlisted to handle jobs that would be involving various tasks, like a bodyguard, recon, hunting, spying, securing, and so on. Much like you already do. You would be a part of a 5-man team, and this team you have most likely already scoped out on your way here. So, are you interested? And if so, any questions?
I thought over what he'd said. I'd already gotten over the shock of how much he knew about me and my family. The thought of getting paid more often for work I'm already doing was very appealing. After a few minutes of thought, I asked what was on my mind. "I want to know a lot of things, but most of those I will probably find out later. The main thing is, I want to know how dangerous is the work. You don't go through this much work and offer that much money for low risk."
"Everyone gets the same package deal. You receive your pay per job. If you die on the job, the pay you would have received on that job, and any money you have saved up, goes to where you wish. Family, friends, charity. And we offer you the absolute best banking. So, to actually answer your question, yes, there will be danger. We give you this offer because we believe that you are capable of handling whatever we go through. Also, like I mentioned, you will be working with other very unique individuals, each with their own speciality."
"Okay, you got me. I'm in. When do I start?"
"Right now, actually. And before you ask, yes, I'm serious. You will need to join the team, who I'll introduce later, and leave immediately. We have found something very odd that needs to be studied, and possibly contained. Is there any tools or equipment that you absolutely need before you take off?"
I sputtered for a second, but the excitement I felt overrode any misgivings. I looked him in the eye and said with confidence, "Just my go bag at the guard shed." I ran to the shed and grabbed the bag full of weapons and outfits. and other on-the-job tools I bring just in case. And before long, we were airborne in a military-style helicopter. I don't know why I was so turned on by the whole situation, but somewhere deep inside, I knew this was where I wanted to be and needed to be. As we flew, I was introduced to the team. I was given the names and code names of my teammates and was given my own code name, Blade. Fitting, I think. Turns out the muscular guy was Street Fighter, or Ty Andrews. The gun nut was Gunslinger, Jake Miller. His brother and the nerd was Hacker, Terry Miller. Way cuter up close. And the guy who was with Terry was Tack, or Jerome Tackett. But, as it turns out, everyone just called him Tack. Weird, but who am I to judge? Apparently the man who recruited me was Agent Costas. No other name. Mysterious. I was told as we grew closer to the operation site that our mission was to study and test a possible dimension rip. Or rift. I don't know. Never was great at the science stuff. But listening to Terry talk about the science and possibilities were entertaining but also enthralling. It was like a comforting sound, like a heart beating or the sound of the waves of the ocean. I always had a thing for nerds. Cute and adorable. I learned early on that the big strong guys are fine to play with, but the smart guys put in more effort. Granted, I get chased by just about every guy. I weigh in at about $120, and I'm a bit top heavy, not to mention that jet black hair and green eyes. My heritage is Japanese and white. My white mother is a bit of a mix of German and Irish, and so on. See, yeah, I'm hot, or that's what I'm constantly hearing. And Terry obviously thinks so, but he keeps it to himself. The others are drooling and really turning me off trying to play cool. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm ranting. Where was I? Oh yeah. We flew over this forest and land in a very small clearing and start to unload. Tack offers to carry my bag, but I decline. I don't know him well enough to let him carry my bag. I mean, come on. My panties are in there. The boys carry all kinds of gear, and some of the grunts become pack mules for the rest of the equipment. We travel into the forest, maybe an hour or two, when we come to a cave mouth. It has to be about 15 to 20 feet tall and just as wide, and you can see a light about 20 feet in. The pack mules set the stuff down and start to unload. Tack, Ty and Terry start to set the stuff up while Jake and I start prepping our gear. He loaded and readied his guns, and I took out stock of my weaponry. Manriki, kunai, short sword, katana, stars, nunchaka. I threw on some hand and arm armor, and some knee and shin guards. I keep around 20 knives, give or take, on my person at any given time. After about 2 hours, we were all set up, including a tent over the electronics, and the grunts were creating a perimeter. I'm not sure why, though. You wouldn't find us if you didn't know we were here. Which makes me wonder how they found this thing. Tack stepped up and started giving a rundown of what was going to happen. Okay, everyone. Today we are just taking readings and sample tests. If this is what we think it is, then we can move from here. Hacker, you're in charge of tests and readings. Gunslinger, Street Fighter, Blade, you're on guard duty. Keep Hacker safe. If this ends up being dangerous, we set charges and bury it. Am I understood? We all nodded and went to the mouth. Terry walked up strapped with different scopes, radars, sensors and other things I didn't understand or even know the name of. Man, I wish I would have paid more attention in science class. We all followed after him. So, what is that thing exactly, Terry? We're on a mission, so call me Hacker when you're on the radio or talking to the others. But just us. Terry is fine. He's cute and funny. This is a Geiger counter. It measures radiation. I'm just making sure that the radiation levels aren't dangerous. So far, so good. You want to help? Sure. What do I do? Take this. He hands me the handheld detector. Okay. Right, here is the safe level. However, if it goes about this level, then let me know. That's when we need to backtrack and come at this a different way. I nervously took the device and watched the little needle. As I was watching the device, he grabbed a different device and started taking other readings. This one he handed to Jake. Short explanation and then grabbed the third device. Again, took some readings, and this one he handed to Ty. Finally, he grabbed the fourth device and the fifth, and soon we were all taking readings. It looked like the Ghostbusters. I couldn't help but start humming the Ghostbusters song. This made the guys laugh, and Terry, however, stopped and waved his hand to quiet us. He stood stock still and stared at the device in his right hand. "What's up, bro? Are we good?" Yeah, but it would seem it's right here." Terry seemed sure, but confused at the same time. "Are you sure? I don't see anything." Jake looked nervous. Terry bent over and threw a rock in front of us. About 3 feet in front of our faces, a wall of ripples showed, like the top of a pond. The rock went through and landed on the other side. It was like the rift was just some kind of curtain between us and the rock. Terry quickly walked around checking the equipment. Once he was happy with the results, he radioed back to the main camp. Looking around with his flashlight, the radio wouldn't reach outside. "Must be iron in the rocks in here, or it's a rift messing with the reception. Either way, we need to mark the area and go back so I can get the equipment for the next bit of the mission. Gunslinger, Street Fighter, are you okay with standing guard here? Are you thinking Atlantis?" Yes, I am, Jake, because I get the same feeling here as I did then." "Yeah, bro, we got this. Take Blade with you, just in case. Now you be a good boy and walk the lady home." "Love you too, bro." We started walking, and when we were halfway back, I asked him the question that jumped to my brain. "Is he always like that?" "Who? Jake?" "Yeah, you know, joking around like that." "Yeah, he and Ty joke around quite a bit. It helps them deal with stress. They're worried about this rift. We had a run-in with the, let's call it an entity, for lack of more believable terms. Anyways, it tried to kill us, and it almost killed me. Ty ran into something like it before he joined us." "You said a more believable term. What's the less believable term?" "Demon, devil, ghoul. Whatever it wasn't natural. Or if it was rare and ancient. I would say monster, but that is believable. After all, we have plenty of monsters back at home base." "Monsters? Bigfoot and werewolves and vampires?" "Well, Bigfoot and one werewolf. And a few other creepy crawlies and the bumps in the night. Pretty sure we don't have a vampire." He laughed at this, which eased my tension a bit, but made me question whether he was joking or not, because he seemed serious about having monsters at the home base. We made our way back to the entrance and Terry talked with Tack. The two were nervous but excited at the same time. They loaded up a wagon with different kinds of equipment and things, and when they were done, we went back to the boys. As we reached them, we saw a ripple on a curtain. I couldn't hide my misgivings. Did anybody else see that? Before anyone could answer, there was a gust of wind from the entrance to the cave, and it was so strong that it blew us off our feet. Ty tumbled and fell through the wall, and Jake flew in right behind him. Terry grabbed the side of the cave and grabbed my hand. He hung on with a strength I didn't realize he had. I saw his muscles bulge and tighten in the shirt he was wearing. Soon, as it had started, the wind stopped. Terry checked me real quick to make sure I was okay. Then he ran to the wall and yelled for his brother and Ty. No answer. We could still see the rock the way we'd have thrown it, but not them. I saw skid marks where the boys had slid down, trying to fight the wind. They must have been blown deeper into the rift. What do we do? You run back. Get help. I have to go find my brother and Ty. I can't just leave you here. I let you take the risk. That's not an argument. That was an order. In here, I'm in charge. I have to help my brother, and we might need more help. Okay? Good. Now please. As he spoke, we saw the two boys running back up the cave and ran straight through the wall. They stopped panting and huffing right in front of us. Are you okay? What happened? What did you see? Slow down, Terry. One question at a frickin' time. Let's just catch our breath, yeah? Actually, Ty, we should get out of here in case that happens again. Terry agreed, and we were off at a fair pace. When we got to the cave entrance again, the boys regaled us with what had happened and what they had seen. They said the cave comes out at the other side like it is on this side. They had thought that they had actually came out this side until they realized that no one was there except them. The sky was grey and dark. The air smelt weird and thick, like stale beer and pickles. Their words, not mine. Plants were green, air was breathable. When they concluded that they should get back, they ran the whole way. Well, that sounds promising. The air sounds breathable. The smell might only be vegetation or just how the air smells on that side. Is it another dimension after all? I agree, Tack, but I still want to take some devices and sensors with us just in case. No point half-assing this. And I think we should tack up safety ropes and link as we go. Did we bring climbing gear? Yeah, Ty. You go get the gear and have it prepared for the morning. Jake, get the men around and set up camp. Enough excitement for one day, right? With that, everyone got ready for the night and the next day. Being the only woman among boys, I got my own tent. Shot down 2 attempts to snuggle to keep warm in a cold night. The grunts were really pathetic. At least my team was smart enough to keep their interests to themselves. As we sat around the campfire, the boys recounted their tale of the red and black demon. Ty was first, then Tack and Terry told me about their encounter in Atlantis. That blew my mind. They found Atlantis. Then I found out that there really are monsters under the home base. I started to wonder what I'd got myself into, and if this rift was really such a good idea. I'm not some delicate flower, but still, finding out that the things that fill your nightmares are real, and they can and will hurt you is enough to make you want to go back to your mum and dad and hug you, and go back to, it's just a bad dream. Nothing to be afraid of. Mummy and daddy are right here. Nothing bad will happen to you. After dinner and story time, we all turned in. I watched Terry make his way to his tent, munching on his 7th Twinkie within an hour. I wish I had his metabolism. I almost asked him to stay up and talk, but thought better of it. We had a long day ahead of us and needed to have clear heads. The next day, we made our way slowly through the cave, tacking up rope on spikes. This time, if the wind came again, we would be pulled to the other side. Finally, we crossed the threshold to the next dimension. 15 minutes later, and we were out at the other side, and the smell wasn't bad, just not pleasant. And the air really was thick. The sky was still grey and dark, and the plants looked normal, and the area looked exactly like the entrance on the other side. We unhooked from the safety rope and Terry started to take samples and readings. Ty was taking in the surroundings while Jake was double checking his guns. I kept my hand on a knife at my hip and I tapped the pocket that had my man Riki. After an hour, Terry ran back to us saying everything looks clear. He just wanted to take some samples back for the final test to make sure the fruit and the water were safe for consumption. Once again, we went back to our side of reality, and the whole way the 2 boys were talking about what they should name the new world, and if there are already people there. Terry was going over a readout from one of his many machines he had dragged along. Left to my thoughts, I couldn't help but feel that nothing about this was right. I couldn't put my finger on it though. I racked my brain trying. Then, when we got back to main camp, we reported our findings and decided tomorrow would be a good day to explore a bit. Today had been collecting more and more enough data to go over and over and blah blah blah. Honestly, I was grateful for the day to just chill and maybe find somewhere to bathe. Hey Terry, where can a chick find a good bathing spot around here? Come with me. He led me over to a small outdoor shower. I was not happy, but it's better than nothing. The water won't be warm, but it does the trick. Try to keep under it for 15 minutes though. Dry soap is not pleasant. Do you need soap or anything? A soap and a towel would be great. I didn't plan for being gone so long. And with that, Terry ran over to the pile of supplies and came back with a bar of soap and a towel, as well as my bag of clothes. It irked me to have someone I didn't know carry my bag, but I kind of trusted him, and he was in eyesight the whole time. I was just finishing rinsing off when I heard a gunshot, followed by a scream and then 2 more gunshots and then some yelling. I peeked over the edge of the shower to see a man being dragged away by both Terry and Jake. I got dressed and ran up to them. What happened? Terry was the one to answer. This piece of slime decided it was a good idea to peek at you in the shower. At this, Terry kicked him in the ribs. The guy let out a groan and passed out. Ty was walking up with handcuffs, duct tape, and a first aid kit. Who shot him? Was it you, Jake? Nope. That bit of shooting was all Terry. He saw the guy creeping around and grabbed my gun and shot him in the ass, all before I even had time to react. True gentleman there, my brother. The pervert had it coming. And I love you too, bro. At this, I couldn't help myself. I walked up and planted a kiss on his cheek. Boy, did his face go red. So adorable. Next thing was he thanked me awkwardly and ran to his cake stash. Then Jake told me about the nanites his brother invented and how he has to regularly eat high-calorie food to feed the nanites. That blushing so hard probably set them off. We laughed and spent the evening prepping for the next day. The perv wasn't hurt too badly, just had to sit awkwardly as he was handcuffed to the helicopter for the remainder of the mission. I was told he would be put in a brig when we get back and that the other guys were actually okay guys. That one guy was just a piece of work from the start and none of them actually liked him from the word go. The next day came and we made our way back to the other side. We set a beacon at the cave entrance in the case we got turned around. We walked for 15 minutes when we decided to take a break. The thick air was hard to move and breathe in. We sat and had a snack. Terry had 4. We were just getting ready to get going when Ty, Jake and I also felt something around us. Jake told Terry to get in the middle, just in case. Terry listened without question. Then, something slowly moved into the clearing. It was large as a Great Dane, but looked like a cat. The ears were more rabbit-like and it had 8 eyes. Its mouth was long and narrow. The fur was brownish to green and its tail was like a rat's. It hissed and then 2 more came from the bushes. They looked curious, but even more, they looked hungry. The one that hissed suddenly leaped at Jake, catching him off balance and taking him to the ground. Jake only managed to get his rifle between him and the jaws of the cat thing. The others followed suit, but with less success. Ty caught the beast in the jaw with a punch, tripped it with a leg sweep, and managed to get behind it and held on while I drived punch after punch at the now disorientated, scared creature. I, however, was quicker than a cat with a manriki and a short sword. I caught it in the mouth with a manriki, which only succeeded to distract it long enough for me to draw my short sword as the manriki was ripped from my hand. The creature swiped at me as I countered with slashes and stabs. I easily dodged as it leaped at me again, stabbing it in the rear as it flew past me. I yelled for Terry to make a run for it. I can't leave you guys here. That was not an argument. On this side, I'm in charge. Now run. He dropped his jaw for a second, but off he went. The cat that I was fighting decided maybe the runner would be less trouble, which was a mistake. It ran after Terry and I threw the kunais and stars, each hitting their mark, which was the back of the cat thing's head. It dropped dead before it even left the clearing. Seeing that Terry got away, I turned to see Ty land a killing blow to the back of his quarry's head and stagger to his feet. When we turned to Jake, the beast was laying on top of him, and neither were moving. Oh my God, Jake! Ty ran to Jake's side and shoved the thing off of him as I came running up as well. Thank you, that kitty was heavy, he said with a chuckle and a huff. We all laughed as we made our way back to the cave. Terry was there getting a first aid kit out as he turned and saw us walking out of the forest. He ran as soon as he saw us. Are you okay? I'm fine, bro. Calm down. Just a few scratches. Luckily, one of my guns must have gotten triggered in the struggle. Caught that bastard right in the chest. The worst part was the smell. Kitty needs a bath. We all laughed and had Terry check us all out to make sure we were not injured. As we were getting set up, we heard more hissing coming from the tree line. Then the heads appeared. Another cat thing. We made a dash to the cave and forgot to clamp it, for good reason. But as I turned around, I saw these new cats pacing at the entrance, not seeming to want to enter. I sighed a breath of relief and kept running. When we got to the other side, we relayed what had happened to Tack, and he called home base to see what they wanted to do, moving forward. We were to lay traps at the entrance and return home. They would send in an explore team that was better equipped for this than we were. It was safe enough to keep open, seeing as how nothing bigger than the entrance of the cave could get through. And if something that big did get through, then they would deal with it. On the way home, Ty and Jake slept, and Tack went over notes and charts. Terry sat quiet and looked out the window. He seemed to have a lot on his mind. Penny for your thoughts, Terry? At this, I noticed Tack raise an eyebrow, but he didn't betray any more interest. He kept his head down. Well, just thinking about this mission and, stuff. What kind of stuff? I don't know. Just... Jake, from his cot, suddenly yelled at his brother. For God's sake, just ask her out already. It was cute before, but now it's getting painful. At this, Terry turned beet red, glared at his brother, equally mad and embarrassed. Then he turned to me and stuttered a little. I couldn't help myself. I leaned forward and kissed him long and hard. He was so sweet and cute and adorable. I look forward to being on this team. I look forward to being a natural. Wow, awesome stuff, Smokey Beardman. Once again, another fantastic writer on the show, blessing us with exclusive stories. Thank you so much for your dedication, your input. Really is appreciated. As ever, guys and girls, you know the drill. Please do let us know down below in the comments what you thought. Please do like and share. It really does help build the channel and our community further. And of course, don't forget to hashtag TeamFEAR. If you yourself think you can possibly pen the next masterpiece for the show, then why not get in touch with myself through the website at www.dmtforesterfear.com and go to the submit story or report page. I hope you're all well and happy, and looking forward to a lovely weekend with friends and family and good food. And above all, remember, be safe, not sorry.